Eliza is working as a domestic servant at Osgerby near Scarborough when she married Paul. She was 27 and Paul was 51, and they settled at Lebberston where Paul was farming. Paul and Eliza had 6 children. The eldest was Sarah, pictured here. She was born in 1868. Mary Ann, she was born in 1870. Next were twins, Mariah Julia and Robert Stubbs, who was given the second name after his mother's family. They were born in 1873. Number 5 was Jane Elizabeth, who was born in 1876. The youngest was Emma, born in 1878. The family lived in Lebberston, where Paul was a farmer. However, in about 1880, Paul became the landlord of the Ox Inn at Lebberston and lived here with his family until his death on the 15th of April 1900. He was 84 years of age. Eliza moved to a cottage here in Gristhorpe Main Street, an adjacent village to Lebberston, and she lived here until her death in 1913. She was 72 years old. They were both buried here in Filey Churchyard. Sarah, their eldest daughter, was born at Lebberston on the 27th of November 1868. She was, of course, our grandmother. When she was 21 years of age, Sarah was married to Harry Simpson of Seamer at Scarborough Register Office. That was in 1889. The Simpson family had lived at Seamer at least since the marriage of Harry's grandparents at Seamer Church on the 7th of May 1831. They were Robert Simpson, who was born about 1806, and Elizabeth Leppington, who was known as Betsy. It is not known where Robert came from originally, but Betsy was born in Scarborough in 1813. Betsy was baptised at Scarborough St Mary's Church on the 22nd of July 1813. She was the daughter of Edward Leppington and Ellis Vasey of Seamer, who were married at St Mary's Church, Scarborough, on the 3rd of January 1811. Robert Simpson died in 1849 at the age of 43 years and was buried at Seamer Parish Church. Robert and Betsy had 11 children altogether. Their seventh child, Eliza, was born on the 15th of September 1842 at Seymour. Eliza was just 19 years of age when her son Harry was born at Seymour on the 20th of March 1862. The name of his father was not given. When Sarah Sunley and Harry Simpson were first married, they lived at the Ox Inn with Sarah's parents. Sarah had a daughter, Emily Jane, who was born at Lebberston in March 1888. Although the name of her father was not given, Emily took the name Simpson. On the 17th of May 1889, Sarah gave birth to a daughter, Maria Ethel, at the Ox Inn. At that time, Harry was working as a farm labourer, and the family soon moved to the Seymour area. They lived in a cottage just outside Seymour, between Seymour and Staxton. Cottage is no longer there, but Harry probably worked at a nearby farm, and in fact their first son, Robert Henry, was born there on the 19th of August 1890. Their next child, Elizabeth Ann, was born at Lebberston on the 28th of June 1892. She was most probably born at the Ox Inn. However, by 1894 the family had moved to Gristhorpe, and they lived in this cottage next door to the Bull Inn. Sarah and Harry had 7 more children, making 11 in all, and this is where they brought up their family. Gristhorpe has changed very little over the years, as can be seen from this old photograph taken round about the turn of the century. Martha was the first child to be born at Gristhorpe. She was born there on the 12th of October 1894. In 1895, just over a year later, the 5th of November, Sarah gave birth to twin girls, Ida and Lillian, but unfortunately they did not survive. Amos Septimus was next, known as Sep. He was born on the 10th of January 1897. Number 9 was Violet Mary. She was born on the 8th of May 1898. The youngest son, Thomas, was born on the 2nd of February 1900. Last but not least was Dorothy, born at Gristhorpe on the 20th of March 1903. Although times were hard, it was a very happy family. Harry was working as a farm labourer to support his family, and Sarah and the eldest girls did laundry for the boarding houses at nearby Scarborough to supplement the family income. By this time the railway had arrived in the area, and about 1916 Harry obtained work as a platelayer on the Bridlington to Scarborough line, and the family moved to this railway crossing cottage in Lingham Lane at Lebberston. Of course, by that time, most of the family had left home to go into service. After a few years on the railway, Harry obtained a different type of employment with the Rural District Council as a roadman, and the family moved to the main street in Lebberston into a cottage which we can see there, and Harry subsequently became foreman roadman. Harry and Sarah finally moved into this newly built council house in Lebberston, and Harry unfortunately died in 1926 when he was 64. This is a snapshot of Sarah just before she died in 1932. She was 63 years of age. Sarah was buried here at St Oswald's Parish Church, Firely, on the 24th of October 1932, alongside her husband, Harry, and the other members of her family.